Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it today. We are thinking about making your business stand out. That's something to really think about because there's a lot of debate. Should you do it? Should you not do it? What's the hype? What's the reason? And luckily for me, I'm gonna say it wrong. Say it for me.
I'm Marin Davis, and I'm the
Thank
founder
you.
of Local Collaborative. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Marine was just right there on the tip of my tongue. I was like, no, that's not right. Okay, thank you. Alrighty. So what got you into this? Why did you decide to get into marketing and help other businesses?
It was actually a friend in college who told me that I would make a good marketing major. I was actually bio pre-med before this and kind of traveled around not liking anything I was learning about or doing. And
Mhm.
they said, you know what, you're creative and you've got all these ideas, try marketing out. So I started that, loved the advertising firm that I interned with. And then I married a man in the army. So any military spouse will understand you move around every few years, and no one wants to hire someone like that. So I actually started working COVID style before COVID was a thing and started my own business at home. And I said, you know what, even if I make no money, this is what I want to do. I love what I do. And I love that I get to be creative while also having a professional business. So we've been starting up since 2018 and we've been going strong ever since.
That's awesome. So I guess the biggest question is because I know a lot of people, well, one of the things I've always heard over and over again when it comes to marketing is you either do it one of two ways. You either flood the market with a whole bunch of your own material and your own products, or you pay for marketing. Those are the only two options. What is your point of view on that? Is it true? Is it false? Is it a myth? What is your thoughts on that?
It is super interesting because, of course, I'm going to say pay for marketing. I do I do think it's hugely beneficial for so many reasons. And there's a big misunderstanding with all of us growing up with social media. We were used to it being free, right? We're used to using Facebook as we started out on it for our personal reasons and sharing pictures and videos. It is a hard hurdle to jump over for people to see it as a business strategy and as a professional platform that they can use. So to put money into it is something that's really scary for people. And that's why it's the first thing in their budget to go and the last thing they usually invest in for their business. I think
Yes.
the biggest benefit that someone can have by bringing in a marketing strategist or even any third party vendor for their business or their brand is that outside perspective. You know, I know anyone who has started a business understands how personal this is. We've been there working at nights or dealing with kids while we're also typing on our computer and feeling guilty about both, right? So it's so personal for us, and it's very hard for us to step out and see what makes our brand stand out, what's unique, and maybe what's a new way of thinking that somebody hasn't thought of before. So that's what I love to do as a potential customer for the brand, viewing them. What questions do I have? What do I want to learn about? And then that's how we apply a lot of the strategy to our clients.
That's very nice. It's really interesting. But I do like the fact that you basically say it's an outsider's point of view. We get so stuck in our minds and our image because it's like our baby, it's something that we
Mhm.
produced and we would, like you said, we put our time into it and we watched it grow and then we watch it get stuck.
Mhm.
Every company, every business, we watch it get stuck. And I think that's when marketing really does do something different. It's like this does a little wand of wave, and then boom, all of a sudden you get this rush of people coming in. And it's an amazing
Mhm.
feeling as a business owner, but it's unrealistic if you can't maintain it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, I mean, for those people out there who's on a budget or they've looked at so many people and it's just frustrating, what do you say to those type of people who they know that they should do this, but they just can't because, it's hard. Like, is there steps? Do you do it by a certain direction first? Because that's one of the things that a lot of people came to me about too. Like, where do you even begin? And it's hard. What do you tell them?
Right. I mean, you just said it, Mitzi, right? We've all started and a lot of people are starting out with zero in their budget. They are coming from the ground up. They want to invest in their products or maybe things that'll make their services more beneficial to their clients. So that's another reason why marketing is seen as almost a luxury or an additional cost, right? But when done well, it creates that longevity for their brand that will end up serving them better. And every strong brand, I usually reference national brands like Patagonia, Levi's, McDonald's, because we're all aware of them. I'm sure in your own town and in my town, you have that top restaurant or the ice cream shop or the best boutique, right? So think of them as we're speaking about this. But everywhere that those successful businesses have started, they've started out, okay, I need a website, I need business cards. Everyone sells clothes, everyone sells sandwiches. Like, what can I do to make my business stand out? That is something that we get a lot of questions about, and everybody wants to see that ROI, that return on investment. So, what I encourage them to do is show up consistently. That means showing up maybe 3 to 5 times a week on socials, which can seem intimidating to people. But once you find that voice and that tone and that personality that you speak on your website and in all of your social media content, if I'm speaking to one specific person, if I know that Mitzi is my ideal target audience and this is where she shops and this is what she eats and this is what she does on the weekends, then I can best serve her and I know when and how to speak to her. That's huge, doing your audience research. And a lot of that you can get from your insights tab on places like Facebook or Instagram. If you want to do even deeper dive, there are a lot of apps and resources and places that you can use online as well. But a lot of that is just figuring out the language and the best way that you can provide value to those people. The other side of it, if you do feel like maybe you're stuck because you're in an oversaturated market, or how many times in a different ways can I show what I'm doing? I don't have any more content ideas, right? That's another thing that we get all of the time. I guarantee that you do. There is a story for every brand, for every employee that someone has. You can start back from the beginning with introduction posts, and this is about the founder, this is about the business. Show us different ways to show up, like blogs or like sidewalk chalk as we're going into summer and fall, right? Show up differently in your community that maybe they're not used to seeing that. And it's just a fresh new perspective and a fresh new way that you can create anything from a photo opportunity for an awareness campaign to actual change if you're working. So going into fall and winter, if you're doing a coat drive or a food drive or something that relates to your business and something that you're passionate about, show the community how you are involved in the community. And that builds that relationship that they will remember for the rest of their life. Trust me.
Wow, I like that response. It's very clear to the point, and people do need to think about it in that type of perspective, because you put it in a way where it's like, okay, that's realistic. That is
Mhm.
realistic, and I think it is the problem that we get stuck in our minds and we only see the obstacles versus what's
Mhm.
possible. And it's so easy to forget about what's actually possible if you just allow somebody else to see your product or your business in a different whole 360 point of view, because that's basically kind of how you sound you stated it, is like you look at it in a whole
Mhm.
360 method, so there's not even a little crevice missed out, because you're gonna find it Inspector Gadget mode.
Yeah.
But I guess the real thing is, how do you know when it's time to rebrand? Maybe you've been successful. We see it like you said with those major brands like Nike and McDonald's, Taco Bell, any brand you can think of, it's probably has had that rebranding moment where it no longer looks like what it originally started. But when do you know
Mhm.
it's time to rebrand?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's about 50% of our business is social media content and creation. The other 50% is branding or rebranding. Usually every few years, I'll tell people that maybe it is time to rebrand. A lot of people equate that with a new logo, new colors, new visuals. What I encourage them to do, because if you're changing every year, 2 years, and you're going from pink to purple to orange, that is not creating a cohesive memory with your brand. I'll even do it. I'm saying, man, what was that girl's name? I was gonna refer her to do my friend's nails, but I know she has like a purple logo. I know she always posts with pink fonts. And if you've changed, then I don't know how to find you online because that's what I'm looking for is pink or purple, right?
That's
So
true.
what I encourage them to do is, and what a lot of big brands have done, if they've rebranded in the last couple years, everyone has simplified. So they've gone more streamlined. They've taken out details from their logo. If anything, they've simplified and they've narrowed it down. If you're not feeling like your brand is portraying you, or maybe something has changed in the current times where you need to adapt your brand and change your brand, then that's a lot in the language, your tagline, your mission, your values, the statements that you put out, your language. So I would encourage people to start there. And if you're confused about anything, simplify, simplify, simplify. Bring it down. Our tagline is all you need is less because we believe in that. The world is trying to say, buy this, buy this, buy this, sell this. And it's very overwhelming. And whether that's you don't have the time or the mental capacity or the budget, simplify everything, bring it down. You don't need more. Let's bring it down to less. I would rather you see you put out 3 posts that are well thought out and very strategic and create high engagement and relationships with your customers than to see you put things out every single day of the week and I'm not getting any value and I'm gonna unfollow that brand because I'm not getting that value or that relationship that I want. It's just feeling very cluttered. People love to see direct messaging to them, put your information at the top, and just switch up your strategy that way. There's lots of tactics that can lead us into those strategies, and that's something that we offer whenever we consult with a business to show them some ideas or maybe bring about that clarity that they're looking for.
Okay, cool. And I know you said that you gotta like focus with the times as well, like pay attention to what, what's happening with the times. But, for those people that are gung-ho and stuck to their ways, I mean,
Mhm,
how would you be able to evolve in something that has worked for so long, like those mom and pop
mhm.
shops, they had their image, their logo for a while, and now it's like, okay, it's time to go with the different times, it's time to remodel, it's time to do all this great things. Like for those, like, because it's easy to when you say it the way you said, it's easily understood. And let's be honest, for
Mhm.
anyone of our times and our generations, okay, got you. That makes sense. Boom. Mark it off, right? But for the ones that are really hard to really get you to change your mind, like what would you really say to those individuals that, are really like, what, but this works. It's been working for 20 years, why change now?
I I totally and completely understand that. I come from Kansas and an ag background. My whole family farmed. I was the first person to leave my state. So a lot of my friends and family who have become clients, imagine trying to tell a farmer that they need a website or an app. You know how difficult that's been? It's been,
Okay,
and
great. So
then
you know.
yes, yes, and their family, which is always fun and great, right? But what
Mhm.
I say is this is there to help you as well as help your customer. You don't need, and that's for people who come in and say, I don't want to dance on reels, I don't want to do TikToks. Okay, that's fine. Let's focus
Yeah.
on 2 platforms then. Let's make a website and a Facebook. Let's simplify. You don't need to be everywhere. You don't have to be. Let's go to the top places that we recommend. And what happens if your audience is 30 to 40-year-old women? Well, those women turn 45, those women turn 50. So where is this new generation that's coming in as your ideal target audience? Where are they and how do they act online? It's it's the bigger picture of yes, we may be stuck in our ways, and usually it's some kind of fear based of I don't have the time to learn and I don't want to learn socials. That's why people come to us majority of the time. Completely fine. That's why we have jobs. But I I would say that even just updating how you share your information, or if there's a pumpkin patch I was just trying to talk about the other day for a client's page, and they didn't have any socials. They didn't have an Instagram, they didn't have a Facebook. A lot of those clients also will say, well, we don't need it because we've been around town forever. People know who and where we're at. And the other thing I hear a lot is we don't need social media or a website because a majority of our business is word of mouth referrals.
Hmm.
That's amazing, but word of mouth referrals are referred by sharing the link, by sharing the website, by sharing information with people so they know where to go find you. Even if that's just to see what hours or days that you're open. And this weekend, Labor Day weekend, are you going to be open? Are you open on Friday? Or are you taking it off? Same thing with Saturday. Like, this is a platform to share about your business and to serve your customers. And when you reroute that as, let's not be selfish. If we need to tough love people, let's tough love them. Let's not be selfish. Let's help them. They are wanting to hear from you and they want to see what you're doing. So let's give that to them. And if you are someone who is one of those people who's anti-TikTok, I get it. Totally get it. Focus on the two platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Facebook website or email, that works best for you. And let's start there. We'll see where this business world takes us.
Awesome. I love your responses. They're so genuine and authentic. And I think that's what we really need is someone who actually cares about other small businesses and doesn't see it just for their own self promotion, because when I
Mhm,
hear you talk, I hear the sincerity in your voice and how it's like, yes, I really want to try to help you. You know what I mean? I really
mhm,
want to make sure that you are able to succeed because let's be honest, small businesses they usually don't last over a year or two. You know what I mean? They're quick to go under right away. And it sounds like with the marketing, it would really enhance this situation from businesses and entrepreneurs failing at businesses because they don't tap into this marketing because like I said in the beginning it comes down to budget and that's the first thing that we don't have the budget because we just spent all this money on all this other things but when you say it the way you did, like work your way up, do it slowly.
mhm,
And I noticed that even on your website, you have a free consultation, and I think that's amazing because, hey, just 30 minutes, I could give you a suggestion, and then if you
mhm,
want it, great, we could go further, and if not, then you know what, take it and run with it. Like it's all up to you, but at least you give that chance for a business owner to make that decision and have that one-on-one time with you because it does sound very personal. When you're talking with a business, you got to know, am I dealing with bagels or am I dealing with
mhm.
something else? You know what I mean? You gotta see exactly with the market and the area because I can only imagine with the farmers, it's like pulling teeth. They already know where my eggs are. They're right here.
Yeah, yeah. What do you want me to do? Introduce my chicken? Right. Yeah, that
Right,
was
this
that
is
was really
Lucy.
fun.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen it in actually meat markets now where put the cow's name on it and says, "This was Betty, the cow, and now you're gonna eat her." I'm like, okay, let's put guilt into my meat.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But
Yeah.
I think this has been such a great conversation. You really provided some great knowledge and a better understanding of how marketing is really necessary for a business to grow at this day and age because I watch Shark Tank sometimes and one of the biggest
Mm,
things that they talk about is marketing and how much you put in it and the results of how much they actually invested into marketing and the profit. It's totally amazing baffles my
mhm.
mind. Like, goodness gracious, this is all through social media. This is all through marketing. Like, that's amazing. So, when you really put your mind into this discovery of like how I need to change, that is your first step, I believe. You know what I mean? Your first step of realizing, you know what,
Mhm,
I can save my business. Let's go in this direction because maybe this is the direction that you need. But I guess to start wrapping up the show, what could be some great and lasting advice that you can leave my audience with? Even though you have already gave us some great knowledge and some great information that can really help us think about our businesses a little bit differently. But what lasting tips
mhm.
can you share with us?
Thank you so much. And that's exactly what I at least hope is maybe this like relights a fire in someone because I've been there before. I am you and I do love people's businesses as much as they do. So I hope that this just encourages people to look at their business in a different way or even start by looking at your reviews. What are things that your customers say that really highlights you? And that's where you can start building out the communication. So if you're someone who they consistently say, I love the service, let's look at the people who are providing that service and tell their stories. Really start with what you're already getting, the free feedback that you've already received from reviews or clients, and doing things in a different way. So if you're already taking videos, let's maybe switch up our editing technique, maybe get new graphics and hire out someone who can even do like 10 templates for you and just maybe get a new refreshed look, and that will excite people and get things shared to increase your engagement. I do share free consults. We do have a lot of free downloads and blogs and tips, especially for people who can't yet afford marketing or branding. Start there, take a screenshot. I always tell people, take a screenshot of your insights, take my tips and do what I say for even a month, 28 to 30 days, right? See how things change, look at your numbers. And as people see that steady increase of green and plus signs, as people start reacting to the content they're sharing, it's really encouraging and validating to say, okay, this is working. Now let's invest in this. Get that trial run in, and just know that everything that you need in your business is already there. It's just shining a light in different ways to who you are and what you've built.
Beautiful. I love that response. Good job.
Thanks.
A plus.
Thanks. I'm gonna need to remember that one.
Yeah, I know, right? Write that down. No. That was a good job. I really did like that response. That's a great for people, even if it's just one individual out there, this is something that we really need to start thinking about differently, especially if this is something that you really want, because if you
Hmm.
started it, you initially already wanted it, but why let it go? Well, because of doubt or because of fear or just, you're not seeing
Hmm.
what you're expecting, maybe this is a direction where you need to go to make that shift in not only in your point of view, but in the direction of your business. Like we said earlier, this is really can change the momentum and the direction of your business. So don't give up. Point blank period. Don't give
Never
up.
ever.
Awesome, awesome. Oh yeah, and if you want to actually um find out for sure and get that phone call, that free consultation, and any of those great information that she was looking for. She stated, I do have a beautiful picture on my website along with her website. Just click right under it and
Thanks.
it goes directly to hers. And I'm telling you, I was on there and I was looking through everything. You can even read the testimonials that she has had with her clients, and it's truly something to really think about, like, is this a direction that I maybe really need to get into? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Because if you're listening, maybe it is. It's a sign. Take it as a
Yes, it is.
sign. Awesome, awesome. Well, that's it. That's the show. Always, always, always keep thinking, y'all. Bye.